Ufi, back-to-back wins. Do you feel like you're returning to New Zealand with a bit of momentum behind you?
Yeah, I think the win tonight was very important. Look, we played a lot of games back to back. It wasn't a complete performance, but I think it was a good enough performance to get the job done and get the 3 points. And I think the boys will be pretty excited to fly back on Friday.
Yeah, Perth set up pretty defensively. How crucial was it to score straight after half-time?
Yeah, it was good timing. Good timing to score. Uh, like I said, we started off in a back five and we adapted because they set up in a back five, so we matched up. So we changed it again as the game went on, and we pushed Payne in to change things up to get the extra player up the top. And like we've got a very crucial goal that we needed to win the game.
Yeah, you obviously lost Sam Sutton to COVID right before you were about to come home to New Zealand. How disappointed is he to obviously miss that trip, and is he likely to meet the team in Auckland?
Yeah, he'll fly out on Thursday next week and come over straight to Auckland to join the group. Look, it's for me, it's gut wrenching for Suts not being able to come back with the team and enjoy being back at home and being able to play in front of our own fans. So I'm very disappointed for him. At the end of the day, look, it is what it is, and he'll do his 7-day isolation and then join the group in Auckland.
Yeah, he's from Auckland anyway. He'll still get his homecoming then. Was that picked up in terms of testing you had to do before you were travelling back to New Zealand, or was that just kind of part of the routine testing?
No, that's just part of the routine testing, the rats that we do in the morning with the players once they get up. His one came back positive, then we sent him off to get a PCR, and that one came back positive as well. And today we did our PCR testing for the travel back to New Zealand as a group.
Yeah. Is he the only one who won't be travelling back?
At this current moment, yes, and hopefully no more.
Yeah, all good, cool, thanks.
Ufuk, how do you find? Oh, sorry. Ufuk, how do you find out about your positive case? Is it a text from Gilly that sort of tells you? Because it had been 2 weeks since the last one, hadn't it?
Yeah,
or a week, I guess, since James.
Gilly is always the bearer of bad news, unfortunately. Every time he calls me. So the test, the boys do their test, and then they text Ben Venn, our physio, about the results. And then Ben Venn either will call me or Gilly will call me and give me the bad news of we're missing a player due to COVID.
So when you saw that call earlier today, what was sort of going through your head?
Well, I didn't answer the first one, so I answered the second one. And look, it's been one of those years where it's been very unpredictable. For me, I'm more disappointed for Suts than anything else. Like I said, he won't be flying with us on Friday, but hopefully we get him there on Thursday and he can join the group again. I'm more disappointed for Suts that he's not going to be able to travel back to New Zealand with us.
No, definitely, but obviously that meant James came straight back into the starting lineup. Obviously, he's been in his room for the last 7 days, pretty much.
Yes.
How big was it for him to then get through 90 solid minutes out on that left flank?
Yeah, it was good for Jimmy to complete the whole game. That's why we had Louis on the bench, just in case he couldn't get through the full 90. And then obviously Cal feeling his hamstring, we had to make the change, so Jimmy had to push through the 90 minutes. And the last 10 minutes we ended up going back to a back five to give us that extra cover anyway. And for me, the most important thing was 1-0 was enough to get the 3 points that we needed.
Yeah, just on David Ball, his injury didn't get a mention yesterday, but was that from that knock he took the other week against the Mariners?
Yeah, he's had an issue with his toe. Look, it's very sore after games. It's one of those ones where it probably does need to be in a boot whilst he's not training and playing. It's one of those ones where he'll get an injection and numb it up and he can get through the games at the same time. So I had a good discussion with Bally and what he wanted to do with this game coming up, and he put his hand up to play, which is great sign for me, great sign for the club that he wants to be involved. It's one of those ones that we need to manage, and we keep him off feet in the next few days to make sure he's available for the game on Sunday.
So he's pretty much in a moon boot and not training outside of playing games.
No, we're trying to take the load off that toe as much as we can. He didn't train the last couple of days, so we try to get that. It's more how much he can tolerate that pain. And I think on game day when we do numb it, I don't think he feels anything, but the day after he'll be very sore.
No, cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Adrian, like to go next?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Gareth.
Ufuk, congratulations on the win there. You've moved up to 5th. I think you're only a point behind Adelaide now, and you've got a couple of games in hand on them. How important was it tonight to get that win to kind of shore up and consolidate that top 6 spot heading back home?
Yeah, very, very important. Like I said, for me, it wasn't a complete performance, but it was enough to get us over the line tonight to get the win, and the 3 points is massive for us, moving forward towards the back end of the season. Like I said, the boys will be pretty excited heading to New Zealand and playing a couple of games over there. And look, the games in hand, and I always said this, don't mean anything if you don't win them.
You kind of experienced a similar situation last year. You went back home for a couple of games. How much does that kind of help now going into something similar this season as well?
Yeah, look, we've put ourselves in a good position. Last season, we were in a good position as well, where we needed to win our games. We didn't win that Perth game, which hurt us at the last minute. But I think we put ourselves in a great position going back to New Zealand, having the fans there supporting the group. I think the boys that are injured will probably even put their hand up to play in these next couple of games, which is a good thing.
I think last year it was something like you went 11 games unbeaten there at the end of the season, but still finished a point short. Does that kind of just make you a little bit cautious about, obviously trying to really push on from here and turn any potential draws into wins?
Yeah, look, for us, we've set a target with the group and what we want to hit. There's obviously games that we'll always play to win, but there's games that we will play. When I say this, we will play where we make sure that we don't lose, and a point is a point to continue on what we need to achieve, and that's to make the top 6. So, that'll depend on the opponent that we play and where we're at. But look, we're going back home and expecting a huge support for the boys, and hopefully we can get across the line in the next 2 games.
And just finish off, did everybody, as far as you know, pull up okay from tonight's game?
Just Cal, we'll assess him with his hamstring. But everyone else was all right. Scotty got a bit of a kick in the ankle, and Bawley at the moment will assess him where he's at with his pain threshold in the next couple of days.